here with Manly Made Minute, and welcome back to another episode of Scrappy Shorts. Today I'm using some very simple 2 strips of scraps. I'm going to do an ink blending technique and some butterflies. I figured this month for some reason I'm gravitating towards butterflies, so that I'm going to do another butterfly card that I've been wanting to try this card for quite some time. I've seen several videos on this, and I know some people use some stenciling to do this, some use just torn paper, which is what I'm doing today. So I thought, let's give this a try. So we're going to get right into it, and I'm going to go to my table cam just so I can kind of show you what I have set up, show you what I did to set up, and then we're going to get stamping and ink blending. So let's go ahead and take a look. Alright, here's my setup that I pre-set up just to save a little bit of time on my video here today. And what I have done is I've taken 2 strips of, this was off of some 12 by 12 scrap paper that I had, and I cut an extra strip here just to show you. I've torn the edges, then I've taped this down. Any of you that have watched my channel know that I love to do my taping. I do not have a sticky mat as of yet, but I've ordered one. It's on the way, don't worry, I'm getting some tools to make things work a little bit better, but my trusty tape technique is still working. So I've taped this down. What I've done is I've cut a 5" by 3 3/4" card front, like this. This card front is taped down just like so. Then I went in 1 inch on each side and kind of lined up my torn up piece on each side about that 1 inch mark. So I'm going to have a strip about down the middle that we're going to stencil. Then I'm going to use an old stamp set. I'm trying my hardest just to get out some old stamp sets that I don't ever use or hardly use. Again, I've mentioned I bought a whole bunch of close to the heart stamps from a lady off of Facebook Market several years ago when I first started. Haven't used many of them because I started buying all these new ones, and I'm getting those out to try some of these techniques and videos for you. So we're going to use the paper bird stamp set with this butterfly that has almost a newspaper print kind of to it. And we're going to stamp that then down the center of our card, and I'm going to actually use the greeting right out of here, greetings, just as a hello kind of card. So here's what I did. I have taken my scrap piece of paper and torn that edge. So I just started, I kind of went in a little ways, because if you just do along the little edge, it's not going to tear really well. So I kind of went in from the edge, and I just started tearing and pulling it in different directions. Can go straight, can go dip again, and just started tearing this down. And I wanted some of this edge to have this kind of feel where the paper peels back, so that I get kind of a soft edge versus some of these hard edges. So I tried to peel that paper back at the same time. Then I took and lined this up on my grid lines. So I lined up my card on my grid lines, and I went 1 square in, which is 1 inch from my card, and lined up about the edge of that along that grid mark. So that brings me 1 inch from my card, and I did that on both sides. Super easy. Again, using up scraps. So I'm done, because this is going to be all ink blended. Toss these things away, right? All right. I am also on this green, blue, and purple kick right now. So we're going to use green, blue, and purple, just kind of striped down. I'm going to kind of angle this coming across, and then we're going to remove, stamp, and easy peasy, we're done. So I'm going to stay in rainbow order on this one as well. I want a medium kind of coating on this. I don't want it too light, but I don't want it too dark either. So I'm probably just going to use a plain black stamp for the butterflies. All right, I'm going to come across rather than straight across. I'm just going to kind of come in at a diagonal, and I'm going to stick with the direction of my paper so that it doesn't start peeling up on me. So as I do one side, then I'm going to come back down and do this side. So that way it keeps my paper from ruffling up. And then I keep a nice even texture along that tear line. I'm going to go a little heavier at that tear line just to frame it out a little bit. I'm using Catherine Pooler ink, so this one is the Grass Skirt, Fiesta Blue, and Flirty Fuchsia, some of my favorite colors. Her inks do blend out nicely, so they will soften down. Alright, so there is that one. Now we're going to go into my blue. Same thing, just going to work from each side of my paper. And I'm just going to kind of go at an angle so I can get that marked here. Like so. And get around my edges. So get here, work that in, and then come to the other side. I have seen this one done several times, and I just thought how easy. It just looked easy. Again, you know, obviously with my Scrappy Shorts videos, I like to use up scraps as much as possible without throwing stuff away. And I thought this was another scrap one I could use with this technique. Get heavy around those edges so it kind of frames that out just a little extra, and then blend between those two colors. And just a word to the wise, you know, if you've been doing this a while, you already know this. If you're kind of new to card making, when you blend over that second color, see my paper's lifting and I don't want to ruin that little piece, then you're going to come back with that first color and soften that down just a little bit. And I'll do that again with the purple. I'll go back over the blue once I get that purple on to soften that edge down. Okay. Now we're going to take the Flirty Fuchsia. This one can get dark. I'm going to dab off this one just a little bit so it doesn't get too dark, and I'll use this to pick up then my extra. Light-handed, because I know this one can get dark. You know, that's it. You know, get to know your inks, get to know your colors. You know, make a little color wheel. Most I think Catherine Pooler even sells a color wheel. But just get to know, you know, the colors, how well do they go on, you know, especially if they're super juicy still. Like this one is pretty juicy, not too dry, so I know that color is coming off onto my brush pretty heavy. And then I also know this one goes on relatively heavy, so I'm not using a heavy hand. I'm just keeping layering over layering till I get that color I want. But it's just good to kind of know how well and dark does something go on, right? Some go on super light, where then you're putting more pressure. Now I'm going to go back with that green and soften over that line just a little bit. And get on this edge here a tiny bit more. And soften that down just a little bit. I'll cover that little spot probably just a little bit with my butterfly. Okay, that's our ink blend. Really easy. I mean, not a whole lot of effort to a card like this. The most effort you're going to have is cramping your hand and while you're tearing the card. No, I'm just kidding. All right, now we're going to pull this up. I'm going to stamp my butterflies, stamp my greeting, and we got ourselves a card. So I already know I'm going to throw this away when I'm done. So I'm not too concerned if I tear stuff or whatever. I went kind of drastic on my tear. It wasn't a soft tear, like all even. So because I wanted to see the effect, and I really like this effect. I love it. I love how jaggedy it is. And when I pull this back up, and I'll show you once I'm done stamping here, you can see along the edge where I went heavier, it almost looks like a little river of ink along there, and I think that's kind of cool. So my card, I'm actually gonna make my card this way and my greeting down here. So when I stamp these, I just want to make sure I stamp my, I'll pull this up. All I did was I taped this down with just a little adhesive to hold it down. So I'm just going to move it. That way we can kind of see what I'm doing. I really am digging how that tear looks on there. All right, so now I'm just going to use my stamping block with my butterfly. I don't need to prime it, but I haven't used this one in a very long time. I don't know if ever, but it's well loved from before, but we're just going to prime it a little bit. I'm just going to use some VersaFine black, and we're going to do 3. So I'm going to go kind of overlap wings, then I'm going to come down and turn a little bit, and then kind of probably go off just a little bit. So I'm going to go kind of mid, down, and upper mid. Okay. So I'm going to start up in that upper left. Ink this up good because I'm not a big block user with stamps because I feel like I never get it stamped good enough, but I'm risking it today, especially on this recording and the joys of editing if I have to, but we're taking a risk here. I'm going to just take, I got a little bit here and I don't trust myself, so I got a little bit on my block, so I'm just wiping that off because I just don't trust myself. Alright, I'm going to go off the grid just a little bit and upper over that white, okay, and down. Putting some good pressure on here, and I did move like I always do, but it actually didn't smudge hardly at all. So number 1, I don't know what it is, you guys, with blocks. I either move them, I don't get it inked good enough and push all over good enough. I just need practice with blocks. I don't know. If anybody has a trick to this, put it in the comments, because I never trust myself with blocks. I usually use my Misty almost always, and I see people do the blocks and they're like, you know, dab, 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 boop, dab, 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 boop, and it's perfect, and I can't figure them out. I have cheaper thin ones. Maybe that's my issue. Maybe I need thicker blocks. I don't know. All right, this one we're gonna go kind of mid, and I'm gonna go kind of turn just slightly. I'm going to go off. I'm going to go the other direction with this one so I can squeeze it in, and then same direction on the last one. So we're going to go here. Alright, this time I'm going to try just to push down and not move around so much so I don't squiggle the block like I tend to, and then straight up. Pretty good, actually. These are kind of cute. Old stamp set. Don't know if you can even still get this. I know Close to My Heart is merging, I believe, with Stampin' Up! Now, and you know, I feel bad for the owners. I get it. Previous business owner myself, I get it. And you gotta do what you gotta do for your health too. But so these stamps I don't think are available. They're old, but I can guarantee there's a stamp out there with some newspaper print. There's something different. I almost used some other butterflies that I have. They just weren't as big as I wanted them to cover this, so that's why I switched to this one. Alright, this one I'm going to go kind of this way because that fits in nice there. I'm going to go off the grid just a little bit this way with this one and move that up just a little bit. Good push, let that make contact and that ink transfer nice, and then straight up. There's my card. There is my lovely little butterfly card. I don't know why I got stuck on butterflies for May. So let's just finish this card up. Alright, I'm going to do a greeting. I'm going to use my Misty for the greeting, and I just smudged right there. That's okay. See if I can get that off with my fingerprint before that dries too fast, using my sanding eraser. If anything, I can trim that down, or we can throw a little something on there. So, all right. Now, I'm going to get out my Misty for my greeting on this one. All right, I'm going to wipe my fingers. I got some ink on my fingers. I can feel it's going to keep transferring. Okay, I'm going to use this greeting out of this pack, just the greetings. I think that's just, oh, you know what? My thoughts are so nice of you. You're so kind. Greetings. Or smile. Greetings or smile. I'm going to do greetings. Going to do greetings. Alright. I think I'm going to kind of throw this one more this direction. I might trim that piece down over there then. Just like, I wonder if I can twist that. No. Alright. Let's tuck that up. I still got that adhesive on there, so I just taped it down. And because this looks like it's going to go over the butterfly, I might have to do this a couple times. Will that fit up in here? That fits nice right around that butterfly, actually. A lot of space. Left some space down here because I thought it was going to go down here. I'm going to go off. I'm going to leave one line so it comes like this. I'm going to eliminate that line. So then I'm actually going to throw this in my other corner. So we're going to go this way. Okay. So I'm going to do it. No, because I can't, because I need that. Nope, it's got to go the other way. Figure this out before the video, Shawn. Okay, here we go. I'm going to do it right here. I got a little smudge in that corner, so I'm going to cover it up with my G. We're going to go off the grid here with that line. Keep this line so it just kind of, it's the extending of the S. Pick that up. Alright. Using the same, my VersaFine. This is a small kind of type, so I'm just giving a little pressure to make contact. I'm not pushing and squishing so it doesn't make this greeting kind of go out of whack. And that, you know what, one stamp is plenty on that. That looks great. Okay, let's see if I can erase a little bit more of this piece. I'm going to do a little trim on that. Just a little, because I don't want to go off kilter too much with my black matting. Alright, let's put this aside and assemble. I'm going to have A2 size card. It's a side fold, but I'm going to turn it so it's going to be a top fold for me. So no die cutting with this one, just some tearing of some scraps. Find some stamps, maybe some, you know, you could throw leaves across this, you could throw butterflies, dragonflies, you know, any other kind of insect across this. You could just throw some flowers across this. So I am just stuck on this butterfly kick right now because I've had all these butterfly stamps I haven't ever really used, and I thought it's spring, so we're going to use some butterflies. Was my thought process when I started some butterflies, but I didn't think I'd still be doing them. So, alright. Throw this down here. Like so. Good and lined up. Gosh, I got a little bit of on my fingers, and it's all over the place. Little brand on there, and there you have it. The easiest card I think I've ever made. Super easy. Now if I get close, you can kind of see it's like a little river of some heavy ink in there because I went heavy around those edges. I like how that turned out. I really like how that turned out. Now I could take a black marker and even trace around that, give it a little something. We could throw some bling on here, but I like the simplicity of this one, so I'm just gonna keep it, to be honest. I'm just gonna leave it as is. So there's my card. This is the perfect one just to kind of send off to someone and say hi. I got a couple smudges, but I will fix those. All right, so let's head on up to my face cam. Here is my card. Let's get that to focus. There we go. Love this card. Super easy. Give it a try. Get some scraps out of your scrap drawer. Do some tearing. Get something of length so it covers your card. You can go, let's see, I can go this way, I can go this way. You could go diagonal. So give it a try and see how simple this one is. So thank you so much for being here with my Scrappy Shorts every other Saturday. If you're new here, don't be scared. Hit that like and subscribe button and follow me and get that bell and it'll notify you when my next video comes up. If you're not new here and you've come back and seen my videos and like my content, don't be shy. Hit that like and subscribe button. I would appreciate it. And if you have any comments, feel free to do that too. I do reply to all my comments. If you've got an easier technique that you've done with something like this or you've tried it and you like it, feel free to comment. So again, thank you all so much. And until next time, I'll see you then.